Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MLB 20, the show, full fantasy franchise. I'm really excited about this, guys. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, really bring something really different into the MLB scene, especially franchise mode, something that needs to be worked on and needs a little bit of life to it, I think, in the YouTube verse. There's a lot of people doing a lot of different things, but this thing that I'm creating here, I really hope you guys like it. It took me a lot of time to make. Every team that you're seeing as we're scrolling through, we're going to go through it a couple times. I'm not going to go through every team. I'm going to do different episodes and different things to kind of explain the teams, but pretty much what we ended up doing. So we decided we were going to take every single team, every 30 MLB teams, and we replaced them with fantasy teams and logos. And wow, this took a lot of work to do, not gonna lie. The logos themselves, none of them I did make. I will say they use everything from the Logo Vault. I'm gonna put everyone's name in the description that I use their logos for. These logos are absolutely stunning, very, very well made. I'm really excited to kind of have this for you guys and everything. So without further ado, we're gonna talk about a couple things and talk about why we're doing this, what we're doing this. The first thing I'm going to talk about is what team that we actually decided to go with. You're going to see us here very, very shortly. We're going to go through, we're just going through all the different teams, but we decided to go with the actual Owls. So the South Carolina Owls is going to be our team. We're going to show you guys there real quick, very, very, very shortly here. I decided to go with the Owls. That team is actually going to be replacing the Cubs. So right there you see the South Carolina Owls is the team that we decided to go for. Another thing that I want to add as well, we are doing complete fantasy draft rosters. So we're going to go over that in this episode. We're going to be doing a lot of different things, but I really wanted to kind of talk to you guys about this, talked about what we were doing, why we're going to be doing this, kind of the layout of this franchise, things like that. I just want to get very, very ease into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about here that we actually decided to do, besides the fantasy draft, and I'll kind of touch on that, we decided to draft the first 40 players. So that way we had a little bit of control on who's on our team and whatnot. I'm pretty happy with the draft. So we're going to talk about the draft here in a bit. We're going to see it in the background here while we're talking. But another thing that I want to bring to you guys is I want to try to make this, how do I explain this? As real as I can without it being unrealistic. Obviously, every team is going to be fake, no doubt about that. But what we did, every team has a stadium kind of derogatory and direct to where they're from. Some teams, for instance, we have the Toronto Comments. They are in the Rogers Center. They're from Toronto, so decided to stick with that. However, there's a couple teams that have a little bit of a different one. For instance, the Hawaii Hibiscus, their Bayfront Park. To get more into the South Carolina Owls, we're going to be playing at Riverboat Field. I think that's going to be a cool stadium to use. I decided on that. We made some decent picks in the draft, things like that. If you want, you can kind of check that one out, and I'll kind of go over. I don't want to get into the draft too much because I want to kind of talk about our team here a bit later when they're all on the team and they're kind of all laid out. But yeah, guys, so without further ado, let's get right into this and let's talk about the team and talk about the drafting that we decided to do and why we drafted and what our plans are for this team. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so pretty much this is the team that we're going to be looking at that is going to be completing the South Carolina Owls. Very excited. I'm pretty satisfied with the players that I got. There's a couple things that I'm a little bit skeptical on, but we'll kind of get into that. We'll get into it real quick. So one thing that I do want to kind of lay out that's a little bit of an annoyance just to kind of get it across. While you're drafting in MLB for a fantasy draft, for whatever reason, the game decides that it wants to just put and decide what guys are already on your 40-man roster. So that was a little bit of an annoyance because we had to put a couple guys on waivers that I didn't want to put on and just kind of it costed me a little bit of time, and it's just I wish that they would lay it out where it's just the 25 man, or they could even do it where it's like nobody's on any team and you select. I wish it was a little more like that. Obviously this isn't designed to completely rehaul MLB into your own thing. This is going to be very unique, so we're going to kind of go, and hopefully there's not too many issues with it as we go. Hopefully with these issues that we might be occurring, I think that there's going to be certain things, like obviously I think the All-Star game, we might actually have to have it set somewhere else besides Dodger Stadium, because I think it's probably just going to default to Dodger Stadium. It's going to be little tedious things. So real quick before we get into the roster, I kind of want to lay out how these videos and how these episodes are going to be laid out. So pretty much what I want to be doing, so going into this, I'm going to be trying to record as many games as I can. I want to have a couple, 2 to 3 games per episode after this roster reveal and the explanation of, you know, just getting into it and the introduction into the actual franchise. So with that being said, I'm also going to be streaming live on Twitch a lot of these games to kind of allow things to progress. I'm a guy that I like to play almost every single MLB franchise game. Call me crazy, but I just like it. I like to add the realism to it. I like to play things as realistic as possible. I know that this is a fantasy team, but we're going to play very, very realistic and very strategical with our contracts, things like that, and really try to build a good team. I think right now we drafted a team that could definitely push for a playoff season. So with that being said, let's get right into it. I'm sure you guys kind of seen the top list of players right there, but let's get right into the rotation and kind of talk about where these guys are, where they stand. We'll talk about the main guys. I don't really want to get into the minor leagues too much, because I do have plans on doing some minor league videos and just kind of displaying the talent that's on our minor league team. I think that's something good to show. I've also seen a couple other YouTubers do that, and I really like the formula that works, especially for a realism franchise. I don't want to say I'm copying, but it's definitely a good idea, and I want to instrument it into this actual franchise itself. So right now off the top, we got Walker Buehler, 25 years old, 90 overall, a potential guy, going to be a really, really big asset. He's only 25 years old. He's pretty much going to be locked in for us. I definitely plan, probably next video I'm going to talk about it. We're going to try to work out a contract for Buehler. This is a guy that I want for many, many years in this franchise. I want to build this team off of Walker Buehler, a guy that's only really had one major league season technically in. A lot of the teams are going to be switched as well for the stats. It's not going to say Dodgers, it's just going to say the team that was replaced by the Dodgers. So to kind of give you guys a little bit of an intro into that. So Walker Buehler is our main guy, our main ace, and really going to be the staple of this team, followed by Carlos Martinez, a guy that I think is going to be a guy that we're going to kind of fish around a little bit, kind of dip him in the trade market if he's not performing, or if he's performing well enough that we could actually get some value out of him. He's still pretty good and he's still pretty young, but he's definitely a guy I'm a little leery on. Only 66 stamina. If things aren't working well and he's not getting as many innings as I want him to, he may find himself in a bullpen role, maybe a long, I don't want to say a long relief role, but maybe a middle relief role, something that we can really give him a lot of innings in the bullpen is something I kind of foresee him in the future if we decide to keep him long term. Mike Foltynewicz is another guy, nice powerhouse arm, really strong arm. Mike Foltynewicz, not much really else to go over with Foltynewicz besides he's a strong arm, good middle of the order guy, and I'm really excited to have him in here. We decided to go with Chris Archer. I am a Pittsburgh Pirates fan, so maybe I'm a little biased to this one. He's been struggling with the Pirates, so I'm hoping he can rebound with this overhaul franchise and really get involved with the team. We have Derek Rodriguez, another young talent guy, similar to what I kind of planned with Walker Buehler, but on a smaller scale. Rodriguez is going to be a guy that I'm really hoping can develop well, and if he's not, we can always send him down to the minor leagues. We have a couple guys that can fill in for him. We'll talk about those guys. Someone like Felix Hernandez, we got him dirt cheap. Maybe Felix can have a rebound season and find himself back to maybe a late inning ace guy. Also another guy that I might move into the bullpen, something like that, very similar to that. We also have, I think we did pretty good in the bullpen aspect. I think we have one of the stronger bullpens. I'm actually pretty sure the game actually rates our bullpen pretty good. Anyway, we have Chad Green, really strong arm, really big knockout stuff, really nasty stuff, nasty slider, splitter, off the charts fastball, really good strong guy. Really excited to kind of get him into it. Trevor May. Obviously, Trevor May, you guys know him, Twitch streamer himself. Trevor May, wanted to bring him aboard on the team. Big break stuff, doesn't allow a lot of hits, good Ks per 9. The only thing I'm worried about, hopefully he's not walking a lot of guys. It's kind of in that mid-tier for that. So Trevor May is definitely a nice guy to have. Michael Givens is another guy, really similar to Trevor May. Good strikeouts, good hits per 9. Hopefully the control isn't an issue. Another guy that I'm very excited to bring is Hansel Robles, 29 years old, had a very good season in 2019. So hopefully Hansel Robles can carry that into our franchise and really get things going. Again, we got Taylor Rogers, another amazing twin to have, really follows up Trevor May. So Taylor Rogers, knockout lefty, don't really know what else to say. I want to try to plan on keeping him as long as we can. We're paying him 4.4. He has 2 years arbitration, so we're probably going to fill out that contract, and we'll go from there with Taylor Rogers. But I'm blah, 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 can't talk. So he's a very, very important asset for us. Definitely going to be the ace in the bullpen per se. Another huge guy that we were able to pick up. We got him very, very, very quick in the rounds. Was a guy I really wanted to dedicate myself to getting into, and that's Willson Contreras. I'm a big believer in catchers win ball games. These guys are just as much of a captain on the field as anyone else is, and Willson Contreras is just that. I think he's going to be a great captain for the team. He's going to be a good leader, and I really expect him to take on that persona for our franchise. I want him to be that middle of the order guy eventually in his career. He's only 27, so he is getting a little bit up there in age, almost hitting that 30-year mark in 3 years. But we do have him for a decent bit. His contract, 4.5 with 2 years arbitration. So once he hits that 30-year threshold, we'll investigate and see if we can kind of lock him down long term, see how he performs. Because really there's not much behind him. Russell Martin, Austin Barnes, just really good defensive catchers, someone that's going to be nice to kind of just replace and have him there. We also have this guy here. I want to kind of talk about a couple of these guys. They will have some showing, and we're going to display these guys a little more in our actual minor league updates, but Giancarlo Cabrera, nice fielding guy, has plenty of time to develop, huge power already against lefties. He is a D potential, so maybe not much growth there, but I think he'll be a nice guy if someone gets hurt, or if we got some struggling guys in the minor or in the major league, so we can really call him up. Chadwick Tromp, we'll get into all these guys. We have Josh Bell, another great asset player, another huge bat on the lineup, middle of the order guy, 27 years old, 84 overall A potential. This guy's going to develop, and I hope he's going to really pop off. Hopefully I can hit better with him than I can do with his Diamond Dynasty guys. I don't really hit good with him in Diamond Dynasty, so I'm hoping that maybe we can turn that around on the franchise. Adam Frazier, the second baseman. I can tell if you guys can see, I really like my Pirate guys, but these are really good guys that I think are really going to make good assets developing into our system. Adam Frazier, nice contact guy, great fielding, vision guy. Hopefully he's going to get on base a lot. You see right here, his discipline's a little bit okay. He's really durable. He's a really reliable guy. Can play all over the field. Adam Frazier's a huge asset. We have a couple utility guys we'll get into, but Frazier's our main utility. He's not just going to be playing second base. I see him more maybe even playing some corner outfield, maybe even center field. His speed's a little low personally for me to have him in center, but if we're dire for it, we can definitely use him everywhere on the field. Tommy LaStella is a guy I really want to kind of talk about because LaStella's very interesting in our franchise for this first year. Great offensive player in LaStella. The question that I have for LaStella, he's $3.3 million for 1 year. The big question is how much he's going to want after this, how he's going to play well. He's going to be great trade bait, especially during that trade deadline. We're really going to be kind of shopping around, seeing what LaStella is, because right behind him was a big draft pick we were able to lock down, Alec Boehm. Boehm is a huge power bat already, 23 years old, already a 66 overall A potential. Absolutely our top prospect in the franchise. Alec Boehm is going to be a star on the Owls. I want to lock this guy down. Huge contract already. We can really lock him in the whole way to 2025 with arbitration. So this is a guy that I'm really excited to see how he develops, how he performs. Already great power. The fielding's a little shaky, but that's something I can kind of discuss. He can also play first, but I really see him playing a corner outfield role for sure, or infield role, especially at third base. I really kind of want to try to keep him at third base, and that'll kind of deal with our LaStella role. And LaStella, not much of a third baseman himself, but we'll figure that out as we go. If it becomes a factor, maybe we can also move Frazier over there to third and move him to short or somewhere like, or first or second. He has a couple positions we can play with. Paul DeYoung, Another huge asset. And like I said, a lot of these guys, we can shuffle them around different positions with their secondaries. I really wanted to kind of point that out too. A lot of these guys, being this is a new overhaul, they might travel and do some different positions. I'm not going to do anything that's out of their actual secondaries, but I may switch their secondaries and their primaries up to how I want to play them. After all, it is my franchise. I want to see where these guys play and fit really with us and develop with the proper tools that I want to give them. But anyway, Paul DeJong, amazing fielding shortstop, probably one of the best. Again, another A potential 26-year-old, that mid-20s. You're going to find that a big theme with us is the mid-20s 80 overall guys are the guys I'm really looking to keep around, especially these A potential guys. Paul DeJong, Wilson Contreras, Josh Bell, Bueller, all people that are going to be great assets for us. DeJong's an interesting one, big pop against the righties. Again, amazing fielding. We have him the whole way to 2023, already on a locked contract. In 4 years at 2023, he's going to be 30 years old. So again, these guys around 30 years old, hopefully we have enough money, we can bring some of these guys back and really allow them to develop. David Peralta, 32 years old, 86 overall. This is a guy I plan to see what he does. We got him for 3 years, so he's going to be a nice bat. He's going to be a really good hitter for us. Hopefully he can play and really develop as well. I want him to pretty much be one of those like two batters. I want to say, I think he's going to probably be batting around the 2 hole for us, maybe back in the 5th hole if he finds that power a little bit. Absolutely destroys right-handed batting. David Peralta going to be another key asset. Lorenzo Cain was an interesting one though. I'm going to describe Lorenzo Cain. Center field is definitely, in my opinion, one of our weaker spots. I know we have a lot of depth as far as it goes, but Lorenzo Cain is one of those guys that I was like, I don't really know. He's 33 years old, field's amazing. He's going to be getting contact hits. He's not going to really be hitting for much power. He did hit 11 last year. The OPS was a little bit of a worry ward for me. 697, a guy that's normally around that 750, 800 mark. So you really don't like to see that in Lorenzo Cain's career. Hopefully this isn't a sign of digression and this is just a sign to move forward and it's just an off year for him. I want to see him back in that 300 marker. I want to see the on-base percentage get around where he had it in 2018. So this is a guy, again, I'm going to really be kind of eyeing up. We have him for 3 years on a very expensive contract. So if he's not performing the first year, he might be a guy that we're looking to really get rid of right away, try to dodge a bullet. And if it ends up flopping in our face, it ends up flopping in our face. But hopefully Lorenzo Cain can have a nice rebound season with the Owls. Michael Taylor, another guy, amazing fielder, fast guy. The contact's not there, but I got him to be that strong right fielder, to be that really good outfielder that he needs to be. Really strong arm, really good for right field. The speed's going to be there. He was a center fielder originally, but I think right field's going to be his home for the Owls. So that's pretty much what we have with that. A lot of development on this team. We'll go into a couple other things real quick. We'll go into our budget. We're sitting at $960,000 per week, so we're sitting pretty comfortable. I'm happy with that. We're not in the negative. We're not above anything. I think we have a good contract flow going right there. But without further ado, guys, I think this is going to wrap up episode number 1 of our MLB 20 The Show full fantasy franchise. I'm really excited to get some gameplay for you guys and really get into some things, get invested. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to smash the like button, comment down below, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay notified. We're going to be really popping out these videos. I'm going to drop my Twitch link down at the bottom of the description so you can hopefully catch some live games and see some live games there and really understand where our teams are, how we're performing. I'm definitely going to be playing a lot of minor league games on there as well. I really want to use Twitch to kind of have the momentum and the progression so you guys can check it out on there. And YouTube's going to be the central hub where we're going to highlight some good games. We're going to highlight some certain things. And it's really how I see this franchise developing for us. So without further ado, guys, my name's Project. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and bye-bye.